Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
United to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Councillor Ledeen. Here. Councillor Van Sickle. Councillor Bender.
Here.
Councillor Sweeney.
Here.
Councillor Fennessy.
Here.
Councillor Elm.
Here.
Councillor Ludwig. Here. Councillor Sutherland.
Here.
Councillor Kern.
Here.
And Councillor Dahlbeck.
Here.
Everyone is present.
Thank you. Do the minutes.
The first item is approval of the minutes from the July 7th meeting.
So moved.
The motion is by Councillor Dahlbeck, the second by Councillor Bender. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. Motion carries. We don't have committee of the whole minutes.
Mayor, I'd like to move, if at all possible, number 11 to the top of the agenda so everybody will be able to speak.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Dahlbeck. I will, if there's no objection from Councillor Dahlbeck, that motion will be to consider item 11.1 under resolutions as concurrently with 7.2, the business of the committee of the whole. Councillor Dahlbeck has made a motion to suspend the rules to consider those items concurrently and immediately. Is there a second? Second. The second is by Councillor Bender. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The motion carries.
I did send out an email to you all today, and you have a hard copy at your desk. There was an amendment to the committee of the whole proceedings regarding the language to the city to make signage available. I missed that in the original, and then I also amended the resolution to reflect that change. And you have that before you also.
Councillors, what is your pleasure with the resolution?
Motion to approve.
Okay, if you don't mind, Councillor Bender, I'm going to give Councillor Dahlbeck the motion to approve, and the second will be by Councillor Bender. Now, we may have some people in the room to speak, Councillor, so I'm going to take public comment first. I have potentially 3 people signed up. Terry, would you mind turning on the microphone over there? If you are here to speak to the resolution, we have just a few rules. We would ask that you come up, say your name and your address, and then you have 3 minutes and 3 minutes only to address the council. We don't entertain comments or questions afterwards. We are pretty strict about the 3-minute rule that is written in our ordinance, unless, of course, the council takes action to allow more. The first person I have on the list is Caleb Robertson. Is Caleb Robertson here? Please step up to the podium.
My name is Caleb Robertson. I live, 8264 South or East Sand Road, South Range. However, I do work here in Superior, and I do spend a lot of my time here. I would like to address this resolution about a mask mandate. I've spoken to, I believe, 2 council members, Mr. Sweeney and Ms. Van Sickle, as well as Mayor. Just a couple of things. I do have to say I am in disagreement with the resolution. I do not think that it is the place of the government to mandate such things upon the people. I think that is the right of the people to choose their own, governing of their health. Just a couple things I will reference. This was a statement on March 8th by Dr. Anthony Fauci on the 60 Minutes show, and he said, and I quote, "There is no reason to be walking around wearing a mask. When you're in the middle of an outbreak, wearing a mask may make people feel a bit better, and it might block a droplet, but it's not providing the perfect protection that people think that it is, and often there are unintended consequences. People fiddling with a mask, and they keep touching their face," end quote. Some further things on masks. I know most will reject this because a scientist or a doctor did not put their name on it, but you can find videos and such where aerosols are proven to not be blocked by what most would consider an acceptable face covering. And like I said, I know most will reject that because, a scientist did not put their, stamp of approval on it, but that should be noted. Just to make this go quicker, some further considerations on COVID-19 data as reported by Dr. Lisa Brousseau. For your consideration, here's a few particle sizes for some of the pollutants you're likely to encounter, from the smallest to the largest. Smoke from natural materials, 0.01 to 0.1 micron. Burning wood, 0.2 to 0.3 microns. Outdoor dust, 0.5 microns. Fog, 1 to 40 microns. COVID-19 droplets in sneezes, 5 to 10 microns. Pollen, 10 to 1,000 microns. This is just to simply demonstrate that the use of a mask does not necessarily stop something from floating in the air. If fog can float in the air, obviously we see that lingers in the air.
30 seconds,
smoke.
please.
Thank you. All right. Why masks do not work. The coronavirus is spread through tiny microdroplets emitted through coughs and sneezes that float through the air or rest on surfaces and can remain infectious for several days. If a person's hand has come in contact with a virus, they touch their mask, and to adjust it in the vicinity of their eyes, nose, mouth, it can transmit the disease. Masks get saturated with moisture from the mouth and nose after about 20 minutes. Once
That
they're
is
wet.
3 minutes. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Next, I have Sean Smith. Is Sean Smith here?
Greetings, Mayor and City Council. To state my address is 605 Cumming Avenue, Superior, Wisconsin. I'm in the North End neighborhood. Earlier in the week, I submitted a letter to the City Council and to the Mayor detailing 3 reasons why I don't agree with this mandate. Number 1, as we can see from Wisconsin Department of Health Services data and also the CDC, the coronavirus has been waning for the past approximately 14 weeks. According to the Wisconsin Department of Health Services, as I placed in the letter that I wrote, we've been seeing declining deaths daily for the past couple months here. We also don't have any positive correlation between the number of cases that we've confirmed positive to the number of actual tests administered. As you can see, there's no upward trend in that data. Another thing that I'd also like to point out is that this, beyond the virus, is also a First Amendment problem in regard to freedom of expression. In regard to a case that was put before the Supreme Court of Wisconsin, Lounge Management Limited versus Town of Trenton, it was shown that imposing a restriction on freedom of expression in the form of clothing mandates or anything of the sort was unconstitutional. And the reason for that was that the Town of Trenton placed a restriction on all licenses if they didn't meet their ordinance. Obviously, in your resolution that you passed, the whip, I guess you would say, is that you're going to take away licenses, all licenses. You didn't just state any specific types. So I think that the Wisconsin Supreme Court would not uphold your own resolution. Thirdly, I don't think it's the place of the City Council to be telling the residents of the City of Superior how to live their lives. We're all well-adjusted people that can make our own decisions. Now, if you go into any local bar or restaurant, you'll see that this mask mandate isn't popular at all. Every bar and restaurant I've been, work sites, no one is wearing masks because, it's just not something that we want. And we don't want to be nannied by the City Council in how to live our lives. Those 3 reasons are why I don't agree with this mandate. Number 1, the virus is waning. It's well shown that it's been waning. Number 2, Wisconsin Supreme Court doesn't agree with how you have your resolution stated. And number 3, I don't believe it's the purpose of the City Council to be telling us how to live our lives. I'd like to thank you for your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Finally, I have a Ken Gerasimos. Is Ken here?
Mayor, I'm speaking for Ken. Ken called me.
You'll have much more time, Councilor Bender.
Okay.
Would you mind waiting for?
No, I wouldn't mind.
Thank you.
He only has 1 point.
Is there anybody else in the room that wishes to address the resolution? Go ahead and come forward.
Hello, my name is Waylon Jensen. I live at 1409 North 19th Street. In regards to the comments that have already been made, it is absolutely the government. They do have that right. They can force you to do something that is for your safety and for public safety. If you think about seat belts, that's essentially what a mask is. A mask is a seat belt against illness. A mask is a seat belt against you spreading it and somebody spreading it to you. Granted, it may not stop the droplets, but it definitely decreases the chances that you have. And we are not seeing a downward trend right now in cases. We're seeing more cases in Wisconsin, more cases in Minnesota. Florida is a crazy hot spot. And the countries that did succeed in slowing or stopping COVID-19 were countries that forced a mask mandate, had people stop working and stop going out, not to the bar, not to the restaurant, but at home. At home in the safety of your family where you do belong during a crisis like this, and they let the government make decisions because the people that are in this room who I am addressing were elected to us and appointed by us, and these people are here to make that statement and make the rules and the laws that we must live by. It's not the government's business if I collect rainwater, but the government can make me pay a tax on it. It's not their business if I don't wear a seatbelt, but I can get in trouble. Nobody's making you wear a mask. There is no mask mandate. They can't kill you or put you in jail if you do not wear it. If it is going to be a forfeiture of license, then that needs to be discussed of what that is actually going to look like, and are we going to take hunting licenses, fishing licenses, etc., or is it going to be a driver's license issue? And when that does occur, and when it becomes, how are we going to punish people for not doing this, that is also the government's job. And when people want to throw out pseudoscience or I believe this or I believe that, let's look at what the CDC, World Health Organization, says. Let's look at what South Korea did. Let's look at what Taiwan did. Let's look at New Zealand. Those things work. We know they work. We have masks now. Just wear them. I know I don't want my surgeon to show up to the operation without wearing a mask. I don't care if it's a cloth mask or if it is an N95. He should have a mask on, and he should, because it stops bacteria, it stops viruses, it stops droplets. And to that, I just leave it that if individuals in the community who
30
have
seconds,
no science degree, who do not have any type of medical degree, are going to sit here and tell me that masks don't work when the CDC and WHO are, then that's just utter nonsense. They work, and we should have to wear them.
Thank you. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak to the resolution? Okay, we will move into the council portion of our debate. Councilors, as I mentioned to you before, I am recommending to you 3 amendments. I will simply read these. I believe you should have the text in front of all of you, and then I will ask if anybody is willing to entertain each of these amendments in turn. The first amendment that I'm recommending is to amend you should have a numbered page in front of you. So I'm recommending that we amend on line 76, where section A, restaurants and taverns, to read, all employees must wear a face mask while working in areas open to the public or handling food, beverage, utensils, or equipment, and all customers must wear a face covering except when actively eating or drinking or unless otherwise exempted below. What is your pleasure on that amendment? Motion is by Councilor Bender, the second by Councilor Van Sickle. Discussion on this amendment. Councilor Kern.
Can you explain to me what actively eating and drinking is?
I don't know that I can explain it better than that. If a person is in the act of eating or drinking.
You take a spoon and put it to your mouth, that's eating. You take a bottle and put it to your lips, that's drinking.
Is there any further discussion on the amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. No. The motion carries. The second amendment I'm recommending is to add to the end of the list of exemptions, and number appropriately, the phrase religious activities.
So moved.
believe Counselor Elm made the motion and Counselor Fennessy made the second. Is there discussion on that amendment? Seeing none, all those in favor? I'm sorry,
Mayor,
Counselor
Elm here. Religious activities, can we define that a little better? Would having a church service be considered a religious activity?
Yes. I used the term, originally I did, I was going to suggest church services, but there are other religious activities that may not be described as a church. Superior has a pretty vibrant and diverse religious culture, and so there are a number of activities that I think we could reasonably consider religious.
Thanks. This would not limit the amount of people in a church service?
Not any more than any other regulation. This does not do that, no.
Thank you.
Further discussion? Councilor Van Sickle?
Okay, so I just want to make sure that it's the activity and not the building. So, for example, if there was a bake sale, an election, how does that work in some of those venues?
Again, we're going to have to view this in light of however it can be enforced. So the questions that you may have about how we interpret something, I ask you to consider how an enforcement body might interpret that. So if clearly, yes, the answer to your question is we're not talking about the building, we're talking about the activity. A church service within a church is exempted. A church service in any other space is exempted. If it were a bake sale and they were respecting the mandate and asked the police to come and remove somebody that was not following the requirement, I don't believe any reasonable person would consider that a religious activity, but ultimately that may be an enforcement level decision. I think the distinction should be fairly clear. Those lines don't blur very often, but my intent would be to enforce in favor of the presumption that something is a religious activity if particularly a religious leader insisted that it was. Further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion carries. The final amendment that I am recommending is to add to the end of the list of exemptions and number appropriately, quote, institutions of higher education, public and private kindergarten through 12th grade schools, and licensed childcare or youth facilities that are following Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation or Wisconsin Department of Children and Families guidelines as applicable. The motion is by Councilor Bennett, second by Councilor Ledeen. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed say no. The motion carries. Thank you, councilors. I have no further recommendations. Is there further discussion or motions on the resolution?
Mayor Payne, may I?
Councilor Sutherland.
On the resolution that, I don't know which paragraph, it says, whereas on May 19th, 2020, Mayor Payne extended the declaration of emergency through December 31st, which, and it carries on, it says, which was unanimously adopted. I don't think that was unanimously adopted in that, but if I am wrong, I just don't want to mislead anyone reading this. That's it.
I wish my memory served me better on that, Councilor Sutherland. I don't know that I can confirm that that was unanimously adopted. That particular statement came from Attorney Pearl, but I don't know if he confirmed that. Further discussion? Here, Councilor Kern.
Just got a couple of questions. You know, we've been looking at this resolution. There's been a ton of phone calls, a ton of emails, obviously some in favor, some against. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. A couple of questions I'd like to clarify as we move on and just get some clarity for. First one, I believe I understand it, government facilities. So I would assume Social Security office, anything that the county owns, they have the regulation over that?
No, correct. Government facilities not operated or controlled by the City of Superior would be exempt.
Okay. Then going on to item number 4, and I did try to ask it at the last one, but I'm going to kind of press the subject a little bit more. If we cannot get a definition on what the meaning of actively eating and drinking is in the terms of this resolution, who's going to tell us what actively eating and drinking is and clarify that?
First, the individual business owners that might ask for assistance in enforcement. And then second, if the License and Fees Committee or the council wanted to take licensing action, they would have to have a presentation of facts and evidence like any other licensure hearing, and they would determine, like any enforcement action, there'd be a certain amount of subjectivity, but it would be up to that body to decide that.
So it's up to this county or this council who's voting on this resolution to determine what actively eating and drinking would be then, correct?
If there was in the context of a license hearing, yes.
Okay. My other question is, individuals unable to wear a face covering due to legitimate medical disability and developmental and physical reasons. How would a business owner determine if that is true or false?
I imagine they could ask.
And if that customer was to tell you, I have one of these abilities, and then it was seen that that customer was not wearing a mask and they're actively eating and drinking or not eating and drinking, how does the enforcement on that go?
A person that has a legitimate medical condition is not required to wear a mask, nor is somebody that's actively eating and drinking, so there would be nothing to enforce.
So staff working in these establishments, therefore, would have to be the decision-making on whether they're going to call 911 to actively remove this person or not.
That would, if a business wanted to hold a more strict standard, they're free to, and I think we could enforce on that, particularly with this resolution.
Okay. Then my last question. Obviously, for the record, everybody knows that I own an establishment. Many of these rules are going to regulate against what I do. And I have no problem with a mask requirement, not so much a requirement, but an ask by our citizens. Strongly encourage, but not force. This resolution has so many gray areas in it for interpretation that is left up to this council to decide to be the judge and jury about the future of what a business owner in this town will be able to operate or have to close their doors up to 1 year. I just don't agree with that or that part in here for the enforcement aspect. Business owners in this community have strived through this pandemic and made changes daily to try to keep up with what they can do to keep their doors open, to provide employment, to provide food for their employees and their own families. It's a daunting task, and to add even more restrictions on top of that with such gray area and determination by this council on what they feel is right or wrong, and then have to go in, that's the whole purpose why I don't support this resolution. I support wearing masks. I know it's something we got to do. We got to get over this hump, but to mandate it, I can't go along with it. With that being said, I'd like to make an amendment to the resolution and take out the word mandate and add the word strongly encourage all businesses.
Where are you finding the word mandate, Counselor?
Anywhere where it says mandate in this resolution, there's wordage all over.
The amendment by the motion by Counselor Kern is to strike any appearance of the word mandate within the resolution and replace with the words strongly encourage. Is there a second?
Second.
The second is by Counselor Sutherland. Discussion on the amendment. Hearing none, we will vote on the amendment by roll call. Sorry, Counselor Fennessy.
Just glancing through here, I don't see the word mandate anywhere.
On line 3 there is.
That's part of the title, but yes.
So, Councilor Kern, is that just the only spot that you're looking for?
I would like to see strongly encouraged to be formed around what this resolution says. So if mandating is the top line in the resolution, and if it does fall somewhere where we don't see in here, which I apologize for not having that, I would ask that that be changed as well.
Okay, the amendment, the word mandate doesn't appear. I think we're going to need more specificity in this motion. Counselor, because it appears twice that we can find the word mandating in the very first sentence and the word mandatory in the second article of the final paragraph, where it reads compliance with this resolution is a mandatory requirement. So to clarify, would your motion, is the intent of your motion to change the first line to read resolution introduced by Councillor Dahlbeck strongly encouraging the use of face coverings, and to change the first sentence in Article 2 of the final paragraph, compliance with this resolution is a strongly encouraged requirement for any license, et cetera, et cetera?
Well, we can take care of the first mandate as far as the title goes, and then I'm also going to make another motion after that. So we can leave mandate in there, unless you'd like me to do both at once.
I'll consider the motion to be relating only to the that first line. Okay. Does everybody understand the motion?
Thank you.
We will vote on the amendment by roll call.
Counselor Elm.
No.
Counselor Ludwig.
No.
Counselor Sutherland.
Yes.
Counselor Kern.
Yes.
Counselor Dahlbeck.
No.
Counselor Ledeen.
No.
Counselor Van Sickle. No. Counselor Bender.
No.
Counselor Sweeney.
No.
Counselor Fennessy.
No.
So that is
The motion fails.
7-3. Or I'm sorry, 8-2.
The motion has failed. Councillor Kern, the floor is all yours.
I'd also like to make a motion that we strike the, got my pages all confused here, sorry. Yeah, amendment would be 1 and 2 for the fines and the offenses and the licensing.
Is your motion to strike the final paragraph beginning, be it finally resolved that a violation of this resolution is not a criminal offense, however, and then everything that follows?
Correct.
Okay. Is there a second to that amendment?
I'll second that amendment.
The second is by Councillor Sutherland. Is there discussion on the amendment? Councillor Fennessy?
Okay. I guess I don't really have an issue with it, either way, because this isn't anything new under the sun. The individual businesses have the right to call for law enforcement for whatever reason they want. Menards passed their policy where you have to wear a mask in their establishment. With or without this resolution, they had the ability to call the police and ask them to remove somebody. So this, part 1 there, it's nothing new. It doesn't give the businesses any more power. It doesn't give the any more enforcement ability that wasn't there before. It just more brings light to it. So this isn't a new piece of enforcement. Also, Article number 2, that's also nothing new, where this city council can vote with 6 votes, can pull away any license from any bar establishment, taxi cab, whatever, at any time. So this, although it's laid out, that also isn't a new piece of enforcement. So this isn't any extra levels of enforcement that, now that businesses have the right to call the police for somebody for trespassing, they had that already. So I guess I don't have a strong opinion on that one, whether that's in there or not, because it's nothing new.
Hey, nothing more.
Further discussion on the amendment? We will proceed by roll call.
Counselor Ludwig.
No.
Counselor Sutherland.
Yes.
Counselor Kern.
Yes.
Counselor Dahlbeck.
No.
Counselor Ledeen.
No.
Counselor Van Sickle.
No.
Counselor Bender.
No.
Counselor Sweeney.
No.
Counselor Fennessy.
No.
Counselor Elm.
No.
The motion fails. Anything further, Councillor? Further discussion? Counselor Bender.
Well, I did say that Ken Gerasimus called me and saying that he wouldn't be able to be here, so he wanted me to make a comment for him on this. And he's one of the people that is against it, and it's because of blood oxygen level. Your blood oxygen level drops depending on how much time you've been wearing the mask. So he was very concerned about that, and that's all he asked me to bring up.
Thank you.
One other thing, I did some tabulation. There were 43 people that were against it and 12 that were in favor of it. And I, as a teacher, I'm all in favor of it.
Thank you. Further discussion?
Mayor Payne, may I?
Counselor Sutherland.
All right, thank you. You know, this is thank you, Councilor Dahlbeck, for bringing this up too. I understand this is some crazy times that we're in. I understand Councilor Kern's frustrations with certain things, as I had issues with them too. I support 100% wearing a mask. I just didn't support some of the language that was written in this. And I reached out to Mayor Payne after our last meeting and Council President Ludwig, and I felt like there was some compromise there when we got those amendments today. I'm not a big fan of getting amendments at 11:59 on the hour, if that makes any sense. That being said, I wish that everyone would do their best in their part to eliminate this so we can get back to where we were the day before St. Patrick's Day. So whatever this council decides tonight, it's not going to be the end of the world. We're going to do good. We're going to pull through this. But we can't let stuff like this get in between us and be so divisive. We need to learn to have our disagreements here and then be able to compromise and talk on the back end. I wish some of us councilors can do that. That being said, whatever this council wants to do, I respect. And thank you.
Further discussion? Hearing none, we will proceed with a final roll call vote. This motion is the main motion to adopt the resolution.
Counselor Sutherland.
Of course. Yes.
Counselor Kern. No. Counselor Dahlbeck.
Yes.
Counselor Ledeen.
Yes.
Counselor Van Sickle.
Yes.
Counselor Bender.
Yes.
Counselor Sweeney.
Yes.
Counselor Fennessy.
Yes.
Counselor Elm.
Yes.
Counselor Ludwig.
The motion carries.
Motion is adopted. Or resolution is
The
adopted.
resolution is adopted.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. We are on the consent agenda.
Okay, item number 6.
So moved.
Sorry, I
Okay.
stepped in front of her.
That's okay.
The motion is by Counselor Bender, the second by Counselor Elm to adopt the consent agenda. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed say no. The motion carries.
Item number 7.1 is the Finance Committee recommendations from their July 9th meeting.
The motion is by Counselor Kern, the second by Counselor Fennessy. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion carries.
Item number 7.2, you just took care of with adoption of the resolution, including the amendment that I had provided you. Item 8.1 is I'm recommending approval of miscellaneous licenses.
Moved.
The motion is by Counselor Dahlbeck, the second by Counselor Bender. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion carries.
Item 8.2, Planning Director Cirque is recommending approval of a request from Robert McMeekin to purchase a parcel of land located near Albany Avenue and North 58th Street in the amount of $4,125.
Motion is by Counselor Ledeen, the second by Counselor Bender. Is there discussion? Seeing none, those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion carries.
8.3, Public Works Director Janico is recommending approval to award engineering services for the Sustain Our Great Lakes Barkers Island project to LHB Corp. at a proposed amount of $92,787.
Where's that money coming
We're going to keep order in the chamber. If there are any other outbursts from the audience, we'll have to have people removed. I'm sorry, was there a motion to approve?
So moved.
The motion is by Counselor Dahlbeck, second by Counselor Ludwig. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion carries.
Item 11.1 you've already voted on. 12.1 is an ordinance amending the traffic code, disabled parking zones by removing 713 Weeks Avenue.
Motion approved.
Second.
The motion is by Counselor Dahlbeck, second by Counselor Elm. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed say no. The motion carries.
And item 12.2 is an ordinance amending the traffic code, disabled parking zones by adding 1922 North 11th Street.
So moved.
The motion is by Counselor Elm, second by Counselor Bender. Is there discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Those opposed say no. The motion carries. We have no further business, counselors, and are therefore adjourned.
Thank you. Good night, everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everyone. See ya.